Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to spend some time with me on the video. Always appreciate that. Guys, got a fun little video today. We're going to be talking about what the greatest all-time bass fishing lure is. I bet most people probably can't guess this. I'd be curious to get your guys' opinion on it, and I'm going to make a strong case today for the one that we're talking about here in terms of just the most consistent bass catcher of all time. So we'll get into that in today's video. Also, guys, I just wanted to extend a big thank you to everybody out there. You guys hear me talk about this a lot, but a big thank you to everybody that's taken the time to use and bookmark my Tackle Warehouse link I put in the description of each video. You guys that are doing that are doing a big part to help support Intuitive Angling, so thank you very much for that. And I'll put all those links in the description if you're inclined to support the channel through those links. Much appreciated for me and my family there. Okay, guys, some of you guys are going to be able to guess it, but I think probably a lot of people aren't. That for years, forever, if you read bass fishing magazines up until probably about, maybe 10 years ago, everybody just said the Texas Rig Plastic Worm was the greatest bass fishing lure of all time. And, that was true pretty much during the 70s and 80s. But what happened as the 90s came along, you started seeing an explosion in different type of lure technology and different type of designs of lures. It really took off in the 90s, especially like the mid to late 90s. If you look at the selection of tackle that anglers had from about 1980 up until about 1995, there was very little innovation and very little creativity in terms of new baits coming along. But all of a sudden, mid 90s, something like that, late 90s, you started seeing a big influx. A lot of it was because of when the Japanese manufacturers like Megabass came into existence. They really upped the game on it, and they really brought in some lure technology that nobody had seen before in terms of quality components and attention to detail. But that never, regardless, didn't have much to do with what we're going to talk about here. So we'll get right into it. I'm going to show you what it is, and then we're going to talk about ways to fish it and why I think it's the greatest all-time bass lure. In my opinion, guys, it's the soft plastic stick bait, or the Senko. Most people know this as a Senko. This is a Zoom's Linky here. But regardless, every company now makes a soft plastic stick bait. But you got to give credit where credit was due, and it's Gary Yamamoto creating the Yamamoto Senko, a long time ago. It's probably been, probably 25 years ago, I'm going to guess, 25 years ago, the Senko came out. And guys, the Senko, now the Texas Rig, you can, make the argument that the Senko is basically Texas Rig worm, which you can fish it like that. But the thing that makes this the greatest bass lure of all time is the diversity of techniques and ways that you can fish it that you couldn't do with the plastic worm. Now, even though plastic worms have been around for 60, 70 years, and these have only been around for 20 years or so, these are still, in my opinion, the greatest all-time bass catchers ever. Biggest bass I ever caught in my life was on a soft plastic stick bait. It was actually one of those tiki sticks, which is just like a Senko. Back in, I think it was like 2001 down at Lake Okeechobee, I caught one that weighed between 11 and 12 pounds. I didn't have my scale with me, but I had my buddy with me who had caught several 11 to 12 pounders, and I've caught 3 or 4 over 10 that I weighed, and this was definitely bigger than anything I ever caught. So that came on a soft plastic stick bait. Now, I don't think there's another lure out there besides a Senko or soft plastic stick bait that works in such a diversity of conditions and weather conditions. First of all, a lot of lures that you have out there, they're very situational in terms of you got to have the right type of water, clarities, visibility, cover, the right type of sky conditions. Guys, the Senko soft plastic stick bait like this, it works if it's clear, raining, cloudy, north wind, south wind, east wind, west wind, doesn't make any difference. Tidal rivers, impoundments, it'll work in Florida, it'll work up in Canada. Anywhere you go, you can catch bass on this thing. Without a doubt, if you said, Randy, you've got to survive on just the fish you catch. You got one lure, it's going to be a soft plastic stick bait. This thing catches lots of fish, and it catches big fish, everything about it. And there's not much to it, guys. It's a straight-tailed worm. It's like an earthworm, but there's something about the profile and diameter of this particular bait that's extremely appealing to fish. I think a lot of it is the fact that it does not telegraph itself. A lot of lures that get hot right off the bat, say for example, like a Whopper Plopper was really good when it first came out, and now, you know, it's not near as good as it used to be because it telegraphs itself with a really distinct sound. And bass can't pick up on a soft plastic stick bait. It's completely silent in the water. And there's a lot of different ways you can rig it, guys. You can rig it Texas rig without a weight. You can rig it Texas rig with a weight. You can rig it wacky style like this. You can rig it on a drop shot. You can rig it on a Carolina rig. You can rig it as a trailer on a chatterbait. There's just tons and tons of stuff that you can do with this. You can fish it like a floating worm on the top. There's literally, I can think right off now, over a dozen different ways that you can actually fish a soft plastic stick bait. Super versatile with that. If you gave me the one way that I have caught more fish on this than anything else is pitching it and flipping it around shallow cover with a light sinker. Most of the time I'm using a 1/16 of an ounce sinker, no more than an 1/8 ounce. Ideally 1/16 of an ounce is perfect sinker on there. Flipping and pitching it usually on 15 to 20 pound test, Seaguar Vizex line, 3/0 straight shank Gamakatsu hook. Works around any cover you got. I don't care if it's a docks, if it's rocks, if it's lay down trees, if it's a stump, if it's a grass bed, anything like that. And the only thing that I do as far as make it more versatile in different conditions is I change colors. You know, if the water visibility is under 2 foot or so, I go with the blacks and the June bugs and the darker colors. Water visibility is over 2 feet, you know, I'll use more of a natural tone like a green pumpkin or a watermelon. Another good thing about this is you can create a lot of different color looks with dye on it. It takes dye and it responds to dye very good. It's just the greatest bass fishing lure that's ever been invented. So anyway, guys, just wanted to run that by you. I'll put the soft plastic stick bait link in the description here if you guys want to pick up a few, and let me know what you think about it, and we'll talk later.